Hello and welcome to another video. We're going to be showing you a different type of graphs or charts. This is only available for us in Excel 2010. Of course, anything after that is available 2013 and 2016. I have a number of hours that I spend reading a certain type of articles in May through October. And I want to do this graphically to represent my activities over the last 6 months. So what we could do, or what we had to do in the previous Excels, is to go ahead and use a function called repeat, where you could take a certain character, any character, maybe dash or even the pipe sign, which is the vertical character on the top of the enter key. Then I could go ahead and do that numerical value. That's mean the number of the time I need to repeat this. So I did that. However, I need to do that for 6 of those data. So actually here I have another one to do. So look how much space I ended up just to do that graphically. And that's fine, but of course that's give me other flexibility. If I don't want it the pipe sign, I could do the asterisk, and that's no problem with this. I could go ahead and get that, in a different style. But this kind of like at this time is not going to really help us, unless you want it that way, of course. People have different reasons for doing different things. The Sparkline is coming directly under the insert, and it's under the line. So if you're using 2007, you're not going to find it. I'm going to click on this one here, and it says, what do you want to do, or concerning what data that you wanted to include in the data range. I'll say this one here. And of course, already chose the cell that is going to locate the range or the chart. Here we go. So we could see that very quickly. A quick idea about what goes up and down. Of course, you could go ahead and continue to make it more meaningful. For example, I could go ahead and choose the first point and the last point in the chart. You don't want to really crowd it. For example, these are the lowest points, the highest points. Of course, if we do have a negative values, we could show it, but there is no such a thing for this type of data. I'm not going to read -2 hours. So also, if you wanted to go ahead and change the style because you're happy with the certain coloration, it's completely up to you to what you want to do. The same thing, we could go ahead and, for example, custom the values. If I wanted to go ahead and enter the maximum value for the vertical axis. Obviously, there is no larger value than 10. I could go ahead and put 10 hours. That's actually the largest value. It makes it more appealing where it's, that's not going to be any larger than the 10 hours. The mark colors, you could go ahead and change the mark colors because remember, we would end up initially with the same coloration for everything. If you see here, for example, when I started, even for the low and first point, last point, everything was red. Now I could go ahead and control that. For example, I could go ahead and say the high points, I want it to be, let's say, yellow, so it will be distinguished, and I could continue with this. As the first point, I want it to be kind of like purplish. So you'll be able to really change those colors and agree with yourself or the group to what color represent which point. For example, the first point would be purple, the last point would, or the highest point would be yellow, and so forth. So this gives you a better graphic of what's going on with your reading or the number of the hour you spend on certain task. The same thing, we could do that instead of doing it like as a line. Notice here we could, when we go to the we could do it as a column. So column, some people like it that way. That's fine. Notice here I chose the same range, but now we're having a column instead of having it as a line. And the same exact things, I could go ahead and change the high points to certain color. Look here, I wanted the green. The lowest points, I wanted to have it, let's say purple. I could be consistent, of course. It would be much better if that's the case. Low point, let's go ahead and do yellow. And it's too small for me to see it here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Of course, see that the yellow is to maybe I should really change it to here we go, to something like dark like this, where it's more meaningful. So this is really a quick video. It shouldn't take really more than this to show you the different type of uh, the way we would represent a small range for, or every range itself will have its own line chart or column chart.